The Lady Toppers returned home after they lost their 6-game winning streak in CUSA play. The question is now, can they get back with a win column at home?
And Hank Palona's Hilltoppers are red hot heading into the final stretch of CUSA play. We'll have more on their road trip next on the Extra Point.
Are you kidding me, Dalvin?
Broke him with space inside the 10. Looks to break the tackle, and he breaks the end zone.
Dominate on 3 with 3 times.
They will keep it on the ground with Wales. Not only will he get the first down, he'll get the touchdown and the championship.
Use it for Rogers for 3 for the win. Western Kentucky doesn't break.
The grass is red in Kentucky. Holy moly.
The Hilltoppers are champions of Conference USA.
Where else would you go? I think McHenry's feeling it here this afternoon. Bostic up to Pickens, and there he goes. Blocked by Marksberry. Nice hip well. Here's Bayless battling inside. Through the trees, gets the kiss off the glass. Imagine he's waiting to pound. That combination works for Column Bay. Lander attacks, and Lander rolls it in. That's part of Lander's game, and the rebound. Bayless up the floor. McHenry. Shifted over. Oh, Marshall, hold on. He's dancing that career man. They say, well, they found it. 101 to 69 as Western. They've had some winning.
Well, as the great Jim Nantz would say, hello, friends, and welcome to the Extra Point on this fired up Friday. It's sports time here on the Extra Point. Tyler Fernandez alongside me, Sean Ackerman. And Sean, let's just say the game last night against Kennesaw State was no doubt rotten, like Dr. Doofenshmirtz's Rotteninator from Phineas and Ferb, man. I had a lot of things planned. I had props I was going to bring onto the show today. I had my construction hat. I was going to have 4 W's stapled together, but no.
Yeah, it was a rough loss, and even though Don McHenry had 30 points off the bench, they couldn't get it done because the Kennesaw State guards were simply hooping. They had 53 of the team's 76 points, which is absolutely ridiculous. Cottle led the team with 30 points of his own, 10 for 14 from the field. Kennesaw State shooting over 40% from the field. It was a rough loss, but Palona's Hilltoppers were probably due.
Well, and I think that's the thing, too, is, I mean, obviously you have 2 studs from Kennesaw State and Simeon Cottle and the freshman phenom and Adrian Woolley, who no doubt I think will win CUSA Freshman of the Year. But overall, it was just rough. I mean, give credit to the Hilltoppers. I mean, they fought back like they always do, but in the end, Kennesaw State was too much, and you just got to give credit to them because they played exceptionally well. But having Simeon Cottle and Adrian Woolley score 53 of the 76 points, I mean, can't happen.
Yeah, and looking at Kennesaw State's road record, I mean, they're elite. They've only lost 1 game on the road all season, and that's exactly why they're going to take down teams like WKU, and that's why WKU needs to improve on the road, because if they're going to want another CUSA title, try to get back into March Madness, they have to win those tough road games.
Well, yeah, no doubt, and like you mentioned with Kennesaw State, they do a really good job of protecting the home court. They're under 11-1 on the season, and very soon WK is going to have to take on another team that is exceptional and has yet to lose on the home court. But it's going to shake up a lot of things, definitely in the CUSA standings as the tops move forward. But let's go ahead and hear from head coach Hank Palona on one special player, Don McHenry, and how his play recently has gotten the Hilltoppers so far to their best winning ways at this point.
Obviously, the goal is for him to continue to play like an all-conference player and for our team to play like a group that's capable of winning the league. So regardless of what that looks like, I'm happy that it's gotten us going, gotten him going. He's obviously a champion in every regard, and I wouldn't trade him for any player in the country. So I'm happy that it seems to have worked, and we'll figure it out. I don't know how it's helped him get comfortable, but, man, he came out those first couple minutes versus New Mexico State, and maybe they lose track of him a little bit. Maybe because it's a sub, they don't know where he's at, or maybe their matchups are different. I'm not sure. Or maybe he's just kind of gotten in his groove. But, man, he really got us going in the first half these last couple games, and I'm happy to see him playing well.
Well, as Hank Palone would say, but, man, he's a bad dude. I'm just going to tell you that. Don McHenry is unbelievable, and he is going to be a huge factor, and everybody's going to need to step up because now it's time to head down to Jacksonville, Alabama for a matchup against Jacksonville State, and they're going to be taking on former coach Ray Harper, who was here at WKU, who got the 2013 Sun Belt title for WKU, and up until 2023-2024 season was the last time WKU made it to the NCAA tournament. But he's now at Jacksonville State, and he's putting together a really good product for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, the Gamecocks, I mean, last night they delivered an absolute blow to Middle Tennessee State, and they were led by star guard Jareer Collins, and he's been absolutely elite. Jacksonville State, top of the conference, elite offense and elite defense. They get it done on both sides of the floor. Their opponent field goal percentage, 41.7%. That's second in CUSA. And looking at Western Kentucky's guards, Don McHenry, Christian Lander, those guys are going to have one true test.
Yeah, and I think the biggest player that they're going to have to face is Jaron Pierre Jr. When you look at Jacksonville State, you have to start with Pierre Jr. because on the season, guy is averaging 20 points per game. He has been consistent from the field, consistent from three, and against MTSU, he put up 36 points in their blowout win against the Blue Raiders, which now puts him at 10-0 at home. So, like I mentioned with Kennesaw State, they do a good job of protecting the home floor. And if the Hilltoppers want to be the spoilers on the road, they're going to have to play exceptionally well, and they cannot get off to a slow start whatsoever.
Yeah, this was always going to be a tough stretch for Hank Ploma's squad. Going into Kennesaw State and Jacksonville State, both incredibly good teams on their home courts. And if they can even come out with one win, and if they can come out with a win against Jacksonville State, that would be a successful road trip.
Yep, and we'll find out this Saturday when the Hilltoppers take on the Gamecocks. But next, Lady Topper basketball continues their success, having won 7 of the last 8 games.
Learn how Coach Collins' squad is preparing for their homestand next on the Extra Point.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
Okay.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Withersfield down 4 pass. Salary with an easy 2. That's baseline, wraps it around. Need won the first triple of the game. She's got the first triple of the game.
Give that assist to Mackenzie Chasko.
Trying to get her team the lead, or just to tie it. Takes the shot, and she does exactly that.
Pull up for Salary, stretches it in.
Welcome back to the Extra Point. Tyler, Greg Collins has the Lady Toppers cooking halfway through CUSA play. What does Coach need to emphasize to give his team the best chance at a conference championship?
Well, I think the number one thing that this Lady Topper basketball team needs to do is just build on these wins, right? They had their winning streak spoiled against New Mexico State last Saturday, but then bounced back beautifully with a wonderful 78-57 win. No doubt I think they were hungry for some smoked owl, if you know what I'm saying. But I want to talk about a couple of stats here I want to point out here. Number one, I want to talk about Josie Gilvin. Oh, man, no wonder Sacred Heart is one of the best teams in the state of Kentucky. It's because they develop their players exceptionally well. She had 28 points in the team's win over Kennesaw State. She was 3 for 4 from 3, and she just dominated the game. I mean, her, Alexis Mead, Acacia Hayes, that was a three-headed monster, but Gilvin was the exception. Like, I sat next to that guy who was the Rodney Howard guy. He was literally yelling out, "Give the ball to Josie!" I mean, no, seriously, because she was balling. Every time she touched the ball, great things happen. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, Josie Gilvin's been absolutely elite for the Hilltoppers this year, and looking at the stats from Kennesaw State, I mean, Mead, Hayes, Gilvin, it's simple as that. They score the ball and they play defense. Especially Mead and Gilvin, two of the best, they get steals. They get steals and they get transition offense. That's what Greg Collins emphasizes in his team.
Mm-hmm. And one more thing I want to point out about Gilvin's 28 points, that's the most since Acacia Hayes had 29 against Kansas State. So she was exceptional. And I also saw at one point in the game, when they were at 39 points, all three, Hayes, Mead, and Gilvin, scored them all. Not a single bench player up until that point. So that's got to tell you something, the way the starting five has been playing exceptionally for WKU, especially those three.
Yeah, that core of players is definitely capable of leading them to the CUSA championship game, if not winning the title in general. But let's hear from Coach Collins after their win against Kennesaw State.
We had 10 assists at halftime, and we were up a little bit on the boards, and so those were positives. We ended up, I think, with 16 assists, but that tells you about the unselfish play and the ball movement, and so we got to keep doing that. That's something that makes us good. Tonight, you know, Zoe had a tough night, got in foul trouble. Callie Rose came in, gave us quality minutes in there on the boards, had trouble finding her range, but you know, we still got more left on the table. We're not close to our peak.
Joining us at the desk now is reporter Hannah Hamelback. Hannah, you covered the Kennesaw State game last night. What did you see from the Lady Toppers?
The Lady Toppers were just absolutely dominant on both sides of the court last night. Obviously, like Tyler was just talking about, Josie Gilvin, a career-high 28 points last night, and then obviously Acacia 20 and Alexis 15. The Tops, obviously, on the offensive end were just absolutely dominant, but on the defensive end, too, they had 10 steals and forced 15 turnovers. You know, we played Kennesaw State last month, and we only won by 10 points. So obviously, we made the necessary corrections to have a very comfortable win. But the biggest thing I noticed was just the patience on offense last night. You know, the ball movement was just so clean, and I don't really know the exact percentage of this, but I'm assuming that probably like 7 out of 10 times that they slowed things down and just were intentionally making good shots, we scored. You know, and it was probably Josie Gilvin that scored it, and it was probably Alexis Mead with the assist. So last night we looked really good, so I'm just hoping we keep that up.
Yeah, and WKU next up on their plate is Jacksonville State. What is that matchup looking like?
Yeah, so last night Jack State also played. They had a conference matchup against MTSU. They lost 63-46, but MTSU is the #1 ranked CUSA team right now, so obviously that was a tough matchup. But looking at just Jack State, they are the worst ranked offense in Conference USA right now, but the second best defense in the conference. You know, last time we played them, we did win, but we only won by 7 points. You know, looking at the game last night again, we were just absolutely draining threes. I think our three-point percentage was 44%, but Jack State has the #1 ranked three-point line defense. They're really skilled at defending at the arc, meaning their defense is really going to be pressuring our guards, specifically Josie, Acacia, and Alexis. But looking at some of their players, Jacksonville State has no players averaging in double digits, but leading the way for them right now is Brianna Rhodes at just under 10 points a game. Last month when we played them, Rhodes scored 12 points, and she led the scoring for the Gamecocks. You know, again, looking at the last game, it was a low-scoring game. It was a defensive battle. The score was 51-44, and like I said, we only won by 7 points. So because the Gamecocks are ranked second in CUSA in defense, the Tops really just need to maintain their offensive flow and continue to move the ball and throw their defensive consistency off to maintain our offensive success. And I keep mentioning their defense, but going back to their offense being the worst ranked in the conference now, this is basketball 101. In order to win a basketball game, you have to put the ball in the basket. So that's where I think that we have the upper hand on Jack State. So I think tomorrow night we're not going to have much of a problem against the Gamecocks.
Hannah, thank you for joining us. Coming up, Coach Garden is back for his third year, and the Hilltoppers have improved their win count every year under his tenure. Can they continue that streak? We'll break it down next on the Extra Point.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Welcome back to the Extra Point. Sean, it's time to pull out the baseball bats and swing for the fences. As Coach Reardon's squad now in year 3 of the Mark Reardon era, what's going to be the expectations this year, Sean?
Yeah, well, Coach Reardon, he's came in and he's instantly improved I don't even know. He's just improved the baseball team. He came in and they were ranked towards the bottom of CUSA, but he comes in, he's 69-48 through 2 seasons. He won a series against number 8 Dallas Baptist University. They are a baseball school. That is all they do is baseball. They love baseball. All right? He's back-to-back CUSA semifinalist. Hopefully the goal this year, you would imagine they get to the CUSA championship game. And now, taking down Dallas Baptist, if they get to that championship game, that's easier said than done. But Coach Reardon has built a squad, and I think he's capable of taking his team to that.
Well, I think number one thing, too, is you got to look at the key returners. Who's one key returner you're looking forward to watching this year?
Yeah, this year I want to look out for Ethan Lazama. He's been one of the best hitters for the Hilltoppers. He's slashing .309, batting average .373 on base percentage, .536 slugging, 9 homers, 16 doubles, 42 RBIs. The guy brings runs in, and that's exactly what they're going to need if they want to beat and take down these good pitching teams, these good rotations like Dallas Baptist has.
Yeah, Ethan Lazama was a big piece for WKU's success last year, and Ethan Lazama is going to be someone that I think a lot of people are going to have to pay more attention to because he is somebody that can hit the baseball right there. You can just see him smacking that home run. Like I mentioned, in the game against Liberty, he had 2 homers last season. So how about that? Having a 2-home run game. But it's not just the returners. I'm talking about one key addition that I want to see, and that is Ryan Leidman. Okay, he is a transfer from Georgia Highlands College who was originally born in Dijon, Spain. But looking at his 2 seasons, at Georgia Highlands College, 423 batting average, and looking at the stats, third-team All-American in 23, first-team All-American in 24, and no doubt he's got speed on the base pass with 48 stolen bases. And he's got power to kill. He's got 22 home runs as well in his 2 seasons. So that's a guy I'm looking forward to. But let's hear from Coach Mark Reardon on his roster and the amount of returning players coming back to the team this year.
Having over half your roster back in the way of how things are done, expectations, terminology, the almighty word of culture, and hey, this is how we do stuff, and other people being my eyes and ears in the way of returning players that believe in what we're doing, how we're doing it. We lost 2 guys from last year in the portal. You know, I mean, we lost 2 guys. Everybody else was in, and they said, I'm around the right people. I'm getting better here. I like what I'm part of, you know, whatever it may be. And this is where they wanted to be. That was huge for us.
Let's go ahead and move on from baseball. Let's talk about softball. Coach Amy Tudor, her squad. It's young, but what can Hilltopper fans expect?
Well, I think, of course, obviously, like you mentioned, they're a young group. And, of course, when you're coming into a team that's young, lost 8 seniors last year, it's going to be tough sometimes. There's going to be some growing pains. And, obviously, there was growing pains today because they played 2 games to start this year, lost to Belmont 5-1, and then, 7-1, lost to EKU 5-1. So, of course, you want to be challenged early on because when you get challenged early on, if you're the Hilltopper softball team, it's going to come down the road. It's going to help you out in the end because they're going to be hosting the CUSA softball tournament this year. And let's take a look at that preseason poll. Pick second, okay? And I think that's important for this year because they made it to the CUSA championship game last year, and they're going to have to play this season with a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, they're picked second, but no first place votes. That's something to keep an eye on. They're a good team. They lost 8 graduating seniors, and like Taylor Sanders, the boomstick who had 17 home runs last year, that's elite stuff. And Amy Tudor, you got a lot of young players. How do you make that work?
Well, I think the main thing is you got to look at one returner, Morgan Sharp. She was sensational as a freshman last year, and she batted exceptionally well. 341, I might add. 57 hits, 26 RBI, and she was named to the All-CUSA preseason team for 2025.
Yeah, Morgan Sharp, she's going to be able to lead this team, and hopefully Amy Tudor can rely on her to get this team back to the CUSA championship game.
Oh, yeah, I think that's going to be very important because, like I mentioned, they're hosting it this year. Yeah, but like I mentioned, lost to Belmont 7-1. Of course, sometimes when you're a young team, sometimes you have growing pains like that. And of course, pitching obviously lost Katie Gardner along with others, but still have Ryland Smith on the circle. So look, a couple games in, but still got a long season to go.
Yeah, let's hear from Coach Amy Tudor her address of the squad's challenging schedule ahead of their upcoming season.
Yes, definitely will be road tested. I feel like we've always played a high-quality schedule to get us ready for the tournament, and I think that formula has worked to be in the 3 of the last 4 championship games, and the one we weren't in, we actually lost one of our best players due to an injury. So that was a little bit of a hit for us in 23, but I think they have to be able to play on the road. Our goal is always to go to postseason. We're not going to host. So how is it like to go play at these stadiums that may be a little rowdy?
Well, Sean, the schedule's definitely going to be tough, but I think it's going to be a good season, I think, still for this WKU team, even if they're going to be on the younger side. They still got games to play. They're taking on Gardner-Webb and then 2 games against Georgia Tech because they're currently in Atlanta, Georgia right now for the Buzz Classic. And not to mention, they only have 2 seniors on the roster this year, and especially Randy Drennan, who has been exceptional at catcher this year for WKU.
Yeah, and playing on the road is a great way to just build experience for those young players, make it more comfortable for them to be in that lineup, and when they return home, they'll be ready.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's find out shortly on Saturday if they continue to put wins on this season. But up next, it's time to hit the high school basketball court.
That's right. We've got some big boom shakalaka moments on deck with reporter Alec Fouch next on the Extra Point. Okay.
Bring it.
Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home. Okay. Bye, guys. You guys need a ride?
Sure. Yeah. All right. How about some one-on-one?
I gotta go eat, man. Sorry, I'll see you later.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Welcome back to the Extra Point, and Sean, we cover high school basketball like no other program in the country.
That's right, Tyler, and reporter Alec Fouch is here live in Studio 2 with an update on his top games of the week.
Thanks, guys. High school basketball in South Central Kentucky is king. Let's get you to that Wes Strader Schoolboy Classic that we had last Saturday at Warren Central. The first game on the day was Owensboro Catholic versus J-Town, and it did not disappoint. Sophomore Jermail Carruthers heard his name called a few times. He would finish with a pair of trays. For Jeffersontown, it was Prince Conplay who shined. He would have 17 on the night, including this cheeky turnaround too. Coach Tim Riley back on the court named after him at Warren Central High School. His team was led by Eastern Illinois commit Luke Beichman, who consistently finished from deep and in the paint with this here boom shakalaka. He would have 34 points by the end of this one. But that was not the story in this game. As the play became more physical, the baskets got tougher, and the Alpha Dogs showed their teeth. Junior point guard Davon Harrison was no beta, and he was a diamond formed under pressure late in this one with a little string music from downtown on this play. A few more tough buckets down the stretch from guys like number 3, Breon Faulkner, put this one just out of reach for the Aces as the Chargers from J-Town would walk away with a huge win, 70-62. Now, getting you back to the 4th region, we had Warren East hosting Logan County. This one would start with some flames from downtown for East. The gym smelled like barbecue chicken the way the net was getting torched early on. But the highlight of the night came from senior Samson Hightower, making it rain from half court at the halftime buzzer. He would end up finishing with 20 points and gave our producer Ryan Murphy a potential play of the week on social media. But after the shameless plug, the second half featured stellar defense from both teams. Wyatt Gravel for Warren East gets the block, but is not so lucky the second time with an and one for number 22 in the post. A heads-up steal here from Damani Goodlow was all for naught, as another star football player on the night, Dane Parsley, proves he was built for the hardwood, and with back-to-back blocks on the play. Another and one bucket and some stellar shooting from deep kept East in the game late, but it would not be enough as they dropped this one 72-67. Finally, our extra point game of the week featured a hard-nosed Butler County Bears looking to turn their season around against a Jarrett Kirkless Warren Central. What began as a shootout with Briar Griffin trading blows with sharpshooter Ant McAfee became the game of the season so far for the Bears. An absolute laser of an outlet pass to Trevor DeWeese. Look at the hops from the senior. But speaking of hops, you already know the man, the unicorn, Armani Bird got up for the slam. That's 3 straight games with a poster for the sophomore. That cannot stop Ty Price from teeing up from range. Skadoosh. Bird only had 4 points for Central, but another dunk reminds you not to forget about him, as it would not be enough as the Butler County Bears pick up their biggest win of the season, winning 60-47 for their first win over the Dragons since 1987, Tyler.
Oh man, it's been an exciting time for basketball, especially at the high school level. But I know we talked about the boys first, but since we're gentlemen here on this show, we got to talk about the girls' high school basketball first. Top 10, Franklin Simpson, number 1 in the polls.
Yeah, Franklin Simpson, they had a hot game last week against Bowling Green. Bowling Green, predicted to finish first in every single preseason poll you could think of, lost this one, and it was rough for them. Franklin Simpson is on top of the girls' game for the first time in a long time, it appears, Tyler.
And also a classic game, too, against Barron County. It was a double OT affair in which the Lady Wildcats were able to get the win over the Trojanettes. But don't look out for Barron County. Don't sleep on Barron County, because when you have a head coach like Piper Lindsay, they're a very disciplined team. They're focused, and they're going to put points in the bucket, and they're going to be efficient on their passes at all times. So I think that's going to be a huge thing going into this fourth region tournament. And obviously for Bowling Green, the loss of Natea Wardlow due to injury definitely affected things there for Bowling Green.
Definitely did, but let's move on to the boys' rankings. I mean, can you believe Clinton County did not finish out number 1 on the top of these rankings? It was Warren Central all the way. It seems like it would be no surprise for your average Southern Kentucky high school basketball viewer, but Warren Central's actually dropped 2 out of their last 3 games. So I'm a little shocked to see them above Bowling Green, even though they already both played earlier in the season. But we do have a matchup between those 2 powerhouses tonight. You can catch more of that on our social media later today. But what do you think, Tyler? Who are going to be the players that will have the keys to this game for both teams?
Well, I think for Warren Central, you got to look at Ant McAfee. He has been a phenomenal scorer for this team. The guy can shoot, he can score, he can drive, he can play defense.
Can he ever?
Can put it all over the floor. I want to look out for Armani Bird, too. Oh, man. I think there needs to be a saying to say, all rise for the Bird, because he can fly to the rim. And you saw that with 4 dunks in the span of 3 games. But I'm interested to see Jarek Kirk, because he's been out, been sick, so that's going to be very important. And I think for Bowling Green, you got to take advantage if Kirk is not going to be able to play, because you got guards like Deuce Bailey, Joseph Hurt, and Braylon Banks. Those guys are going to be do it. But South Warren and Greenwood also played tonight, and Greenwood's trying to look for their first district win in 3 years. So we'll find that out sooner or later. But Alec, thank you so much for joining us here on the Extra Point. Great job with the coverage. Up next, it's time for hot debates and blasphemous takes. That can only mean one thing, folks. Delay of game is next on the Extra Point.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think.
You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back to the Extra Point. It's time for delay of game. Each contestant will have 40 seconds to argue their point without interruption from the opposition. Remember, patience is a virtue, so don't go ahead and get your things all up in a twist. But they will both defend their points after each debater has 40 seconds to talk. We got Will Gerber and Jay Summerall with us. And gentlemen, for this edition of Delay of Game, we'll be talking about Kentucky high school basketball. And our first topic is going to be the girls' side between Barron County and Franklin Simpson, who delivered an absolute classic, by the way, I should say, in double overtime. But Franklin Simpson did come out on top. But, Jay, who do you think will take in Dill Arena when it matters?
I have the Wildcats at Franklin Simpson taking it all because you have a great team who is built to last. You have 4 players averaging over 5 points per game. You have one of the best players in the state, Larissa Carthorne, averaging a double-double of 21 points per game plus 10 rebounds. I mean, the Lady Cats cannot be stopped at this point, and they already beat Barron County, so is it even a debate at this point? They just beat them in double overtime at their place, which is hard to do, so is it even a debate at this point? Is it even a debate to even talk about it anymore? If they already won. I mean, let's be honest. They already won. They beat them, double overtime, in their place, home court advantage, it's over with. No, not even in the debate anymore.
Ooh, all right, interesting. Will?
Well, you sound a lot like people did last year. My forehead's cut off a little bit there. You sound a lot like people did last year. They said Bowling Green's not going to be able to beat them in the region tournament because Franklin Simpson won that regular season matchup. But they're led by Shelby Bird, who is a sophomore. And we know a thing or two about really good sophomores. We've seen it on the boys level. We're seeing it at the girls. 2019 regional champion. Experience matters. And Katie Elmore and Caitlin Gerald, if they can step up, they've been in this situation before, it's going to be game on. Come, March 8th, March 9th, something like that.
All right, gentlemen.
They beat them when it mattered the most. They beat them at their own place.
But here's the thing.
They had to get a lucky shot off the
beat Bowling Green last year.
They had to get a lucky shot off to even tie the game.
And what does
they had to make a lucky shot to even tie the game. A last-second shot to even tie the game.
If you can shut down Larisha Cawthorne,
it's
game on.
Yes,
Give
remember,
me Barron
it's
County.
an if. It's a big if.
I take Piper Lindsay. I like Ashley Taylor, but
she
give
averaged
me
a double-double
Piper
every
Lindsay
game.
over her to
20
coach
points and
in
10
Diddle
rebounds
Arena.
per game. You can't be
Give me the
stopped. Can't be
upset.
stopped.
Barron
Can't be
County will
stopped.
be
Can't be
playing in
stopped.
Rupp Arena in March.
Best player in 4A region girls.
That's great. That's great. Mason Ritter was the
She
best
can't be
player in
stopped.
the 4th region last year, and they were sitting on their couch by the time the state
You're talking about last year.
came
We're talking about
around.
this year. We're talking about the present. Larissa Carthorne is the best. There's no debate. No debate.
All right. Hey, only time will tell when these teams meet again, probably for a 4th region championship. But let's talk about Warren Central, the Dragons. 2 guys have been a big impact. Armani Bird and Ant McAfee. Who is the better player? I'll start with you, Jay.
I'm going with Ant McAfee. Because if you watched the Butler County game, you saw that he took over the game by himself. When he wasn't in the game, they had no chance. He's averaging 21 points per game and averaging 45% from 3. 4 threes a game. Can't be stopped. So who really runs the team at Warren Central down there is Ant McAfee, who is a bona fide leader of that team, senior leadership, and is averaging 21 points per game. Nobody can stop him. And when he's at his best, he's unstoppable with a jumper like that. You cannot be stopped from 3, from anywhere on the court. He's like Kyrie Irving-esque, the way he goes to the lane, reverse layup, shoots a 3, pull it anywhere you want him. And McAfee is the best player on Warren Central.
Okay, Will.
Some might say this is an Armani Bird fan account. We've seen what he's done over the last couple weeks and something that he hasn't done earlier in the year. He was someone last year that a lot of people around the program thought could be an impact player in the coming years. I actually heard from Unseld himself. He thinks he can win a title with this guy, Armani Bird, more so than Ant McAfee. Number 1 on the EP highlights. If you're number 1 on that list, you must be pretty dang good. We have seen all the dunks. He is the reason that the Dragons go back to Rupp Arena this year. Coach Unseld can trust in him. He's trusted in a sophomore before, and I think he's going to do it again this year.
All right, interesting. McAfee versus Bird. Let's do it, boys.
This isn't a dunk contest. You can have all the dunks you want, but when you can score from all around the court, it's not even a debate. Dunks get you 2 points. Playing all around the court.
We have that lower third says who's the better scorer. I thought we were arguing who's the impact player in this situation.
We can see what the better scorer is.
I think it's Armani Bird. If Warren Central's going to make a run in the state tournament, here's why.
45%
because
from 3.
teams are going to key in.
Armani Bird is not even top 5 in scoring.
Great crossing. Malachi Moreno is going to guard. He's going to be all over Ant McAfee. But if Armani Bird can step up, that is how they are going to beat a team in the 11th region this year. That is how Warren Central is going to make a run in the state tournament. Because that's what they're going to do. I'm not talking about dunks. I'm talking about being a role player. If he is a role player, he's going to get them to a state semifinal.
Guys. All right, guys. Both guys have been exceptional scorers, and I think both have been better impacts on each team. But now let's talk about the best ticket in town tonight, Warren Central in Bowling Green. Jay, who you got?
I'm going with the Bowling Green Purple because when you have the best scoring team in Kentucky in your region, it's hard to beat them and they're the best 3-point shooting team and Kentucky. They're averaging 71 points per game, and they're averaging 65% from three and 73% from the line as a team. They have one of the best shooters on their roster right now, and Joseph Hurt, who is shooting 63% from three by himself. This is unreasonable. Who can stop this Bowling Green Purple team if they're shooting it like this at their best? Nobody can stop them when they're at their best, and I believe the Bowling Green Purple will beat Warren Central when it comes down to it.
Well, Lee Corso, it says, so fast, my friend. Three-point shooting is great and all. They actually did do that when they played on their home court against Warren Central, and the Dragons did not play well in that game, and they still won by 10 points. So defense is something that, if we can get my little graphic up there, I'll show you something. It says defense. That doesn't say it, but I'm going to say it. We can put our defense in a suitcase and take it wherever we need to go, and the Dragons are going to take it to Diddle Arena and ultimately Rupp Arena. They are number 15 in the state in scoring defense, 49.1 points per game, number 6 in the state in scoring margin, which is more important than how many points you score, how many points you're winning by, and they're number 9 in rebounding. If you can rebound at the high school level, you can bet your money you're going to win a region title, and you're probably going to make it to Rupp Arena.
All right, what do you guys got? Let's go with it.
The Bowling Green Purple, because they're like the 2015 Warriors. All they do is shoot the ball. And what happened to the Warriors that season? They won a ring. So it's
That was 10 years ago. If you got on me earlier about talking about last year, but you're bringing up something when you were in elementary school? Okay.
They won a ring that season, so I'd say it's rings.
Bowling Green doesn't know what rings look like.
It don't matter.
They don't know what a ring looks like. They haven't won one in 3 years.
It's time for new things.
Well, new thing is going to be Warren Central going 4 straight times to Rupp Arena.
Just based off their shooting percentages.
If you're basing it all on shoot, you know what you say that? You know who the best shooting team in the region is? It's not even Bowling Green. It's South Warren. Did you know that? It's actually South Warren. They're ranked higher in the rankings than Bowling Green.
All right.
Well, you said the best shooting team,
all
but
right,
they're actually
stop.
not.
Hey, guys.
So it's Warren Central. Give me the Dragons. Whatever he's got.
Okay, we got to move on. Up next, it's time to talk about a special talent here at WKU. Sports Director Cole McIntyre will have it for us next on the Extra Point.
In foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
Okay.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear.
I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Welcome back to the Extra Point. And although WKU Hilltopper basketball lost to Kennesaw State last night, there's one guy that's been consistent, and that's senior guard Don McHenry. And yesterday, we witnessed more McHenry magic as he scored 30 points in the team's loss. Sports Director Cole McIntyre broke down how Coach Pollona's new ace up his sleeve is making some McHenry magic on the hardwood. Let's get it on. Let's go to the basketball court.
It's the moment every player dreams of.
hearing their name called in the starting lineup. But for the Hilltoppers' leading scorer, a new game plan has hit the hardwood.
The logic at Sam Houston State was just to try to do something a little bit different. I think as a team and for him, just trying to kind of get him going. And then once it's kind of been working, we just haven't changed it since.
Now the logic says benching your star player doesn't go well. But for Don McHenry, it's been his secret to an all-conference performance these past few games.
Floats the pass to McHenry, catch and release, got it! Games, McHenry, pow! Where else would you go?
I think McHenry's feeling it here this afternoon. Isolated on Terrell, behind the back dribble. Drives, spins at the free throw line, gets inside, flips it up for 5 feet, count it, and one.
And now, McHenry has scored 20-plus points in the last 4 games. He's shooting 46% from the field and 43% from behind the arc, scoring 20 or more points in 10 games this season.
He's obviously a champion in every regard, and I wouldn't trade him for any player in the country, so I'm happy that it seems to have worked, and we'll figure it out.
The way I was playing, it almost didn't feel like that by their approach to me. It was just like, come on, man, we know you. You good. You going to be all right. It's just like, give me that confidence to continue to just play through it and know it's going to get better because obviously I'm a better player than what those numbers was, for sure.
And he is a better player because of those moments watching on the bench make big moments like this worth every bucket. For the Extra Point, I'm Cole McIntyre.
How about that? Special talent, man.
Yeah, Don McHenry, I mean, he's just been leading the team all season. It doesn't matter if he's starting, it doesn't matter if he's on the bench. He's going to get the job done, and he's going to score points, and he's going to lead this team to victory, and especially in CUSA play so far, he's been lighting it up.
Yeah, and I think it's only going to get better from here as the Hilltoppers go on to play Jacksonville State. Expect Don McHenry to continue that excellent scorer coming off the bench for the Hilltoppers.
Yep. All right, Tyler, Will and Jay were fun to watch, but our next duo might be even louder.
Oh boy, don't ask me. Buckle up. Megan and Kaylee are talking all things basketball, and especially Luka Doncic next on the Extra Point.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. What? My. Oh.
Welcome back to the desk where two of Extra Point's legendary debaters are making a return to the stage. Kaylee, Megan, let's talk about hoops. First up, we'll take a look at the SEC. Missouri's 17-4 and undefeated at home. Megan, are they a team to watch?
This is not my first rodeo. Missouri is my home state. This is where I'm from. I know it well, and I know what they're about. Let me just say, we are not asking if Mizzou is the best team. We are asking if they are worthy of playing in the SEC, and if they are worthy of being watched. So let's take it back to a game that happened this week, the Tennessee game. They played Tennessee, and they were leading for a while. They ended the first half, and they were beating them. It was a very close game, very entertaining game. And they're ranked 15 in the country right now. They're ranked 15 in the country, ranked 3rd in the SEC. They beat Kansas. They beat all these other SEC schools. So I think they deserve to be in the SEC, and they deserve to be a team to watch.
Kaylee?
Okay. I absolutely disagree with her right now. And she's only being biased because she's from Missouri and both of her siblings go there, but that's not even the point. I don't know why she's so for Missouri.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Stop talking, it's not your turn. I think they are not a team to watch because they're just boring. I don't know, like there's really no superstar when you're looking at Mizzou play. And like no one really stands out. They don't have really a star player. And one, they're just inconsistent. How are they? First of all, thank you for talking about Tennessee because they lost to them. I don't know why you're using that as part of your argument why they're good. It's not your turn. And they got blown out by Auburn. It's bound to happen again. So I just think that it's really not a fair argument to say that Mizzou is worth watching.
Okay.
Your hair's messed up, so if you just want to fix that.
So
while you do
you
that, I'm
are
gonna go
saying
ahead and
there's no superstars on the team?
There's no superstar.
That's what makes the team good. They have
What?
good team
How does that
chemistry.
make the good
because
team
you don't,
chemistry?
Because
Okay,
unlike your little team Duke with only
We're
one
not
good
there
player,
yet. We're not
we
there
have
yet.
all good
We'll save that
players.
for later.
You know what?
All good. No one's going. Oh wow, Jeremy Sanchez, man, he
Because
really
you're right.
had.
Because they're a good team. Every single player contributes. Every player contributes. No player overshadows
Tell me
another
why.
because
Tell me
they all
why
play
that they're
well
putting
together.
up. They're putting up terrible points on teams that actually matter and over 100 points on mediocre
Okay,
teams.
of
No one's
course-
ever even heard of. No one's ever even
No one's ever heard of the University of Kansas. Nobody's heard of LSU, guys.
That's not what I'm talking about. That is
Nobody's
not what
heard
I'm
of
talking
LSU.
All right.
Nobody's heard of LSU.
We're going to the ACC. Cooper Flag and the Duke Blue Devils. They're really good, but are we buying the hype, Megan?
I'm not buying the hype. You know, I'm not buying the hype. I'm not buying it. You know why? Because more than half of their conference has more losses than wins. They play in a bad conference. So of course they're gonna shine in their conference. Of course they're gonna be top in their conference because every other team sucks. Literally, 11 teams have more losses than wins. You know how many teams have more wins than losses? 7. What's higher than 7? 11. And?
You can do math. That's awesome.
What?
You can do math.
Yeah, actually, I'm not even a math major. They rely too much on their superstars. They have terrible team chemistry because they only have one good player. They have a couple good players, but other than that, who are they? You know, who are they?
Kaylee?
All you can talk about is team chemistry, and I think it's amazing. But I just think it's so funny how she's really trying to argue that Duke is not worthy of being watched. It's Duke Blue Devils, and I have been a diehard Duke fan since the day I was born. So you're not going to talk when it's my turn, thank you. So you talked about Cooper Flag. Of course, that's a big benefit. Cooper Flag, I don't know how he's not going to win ACC Player of the Year. He is putting up around 20-something points per game. I wrote that down somewhere. But they are ranked 1 in the ACC. They are 12-0 right now, Megan. I don't know how you're trying to argue against that. They are ranked 2 nationally. They just beat Auburn, which is number 1 nationally. And I don't know. It's really just making me mad that you're trying to say. And then you put on your little graphic that they lost to UK, thinking that was really going to do. Of course, UK and Duke have been like out-of-state
who
rivals.
cried after that game?
Of course I'm going to be
cried after
upset
that
when
game?
Duke loses. I didn't cry, okay?
Yes,
I did not cry. I did
She
not
cried.
cry.
Okay, but let me ask you this. Without Cooper Flag, who are they?
Okay, they have
Blah,
Mason
blah,
Gillis,
blah, blah,
Con
blah,
Newpel.
blah, 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 blah.
Who's the coach of Duke? Who's the
I
coach
don't
of Duke?
care because I
You
don't
don't
watch
care
them
because
because
you
they're
don't
not.
know. You don't even know who the coach of
No,
Mizzou
I don't
is.
care.
Who's the coach
I
of
don't
Mizzou?
care because I don't care to watch them because you know why? Because they're not that good.
Because
Why would I watch
not
a team that's
that
not that
good?
good? Why would I
Oh,
keep
wow.
tabs on a team that I don't care about and isn't even that good?
She's only saying this, guys, because it's her birthday week and she thinks that she can get away with anything, even saying that Duke Blue Devils is not worth the watch when they're second in the nation.
Yeah, we're done with
In the
college.
nation.
We're done with college. The
haven't
NBA saw some
graduated
big names move this week. Luka Doncic to the Lakers. Was that trade a fair trade?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
Okay. It was not a fair trade because I'm going to tell you the best reason why it was not a fair trade. Because the Mavericks didn't look elsewhere. They only went to the Lakers. they didn't like shop around. They didn't ask who had the best deal, which they should have done because other teams had 9 first-round picks. You know what? The Lakers had a first-round pick. They could have asked for any of those things, which first-round picks are a great deal in the NBA world. And you know what they got instead? Anthony Davis, who is a lot older, not nearly as good as Luka, and they're just not as good. And I think that they really got shorted on this deal because if you look at the logistics of all the things the Mavericks got in return, they gave up more than they got back.
Kaylee? All right. It was a fair trade, and let me tell you why. They saved a lot of money by trading Luka and Anthony Davis because, and why were you trying to say that Anthony Davis wasn't even a good player? Do you even know who he is? Do you even know what he's accomplished? Take a look here. He has, it's not even up there, it's on here. He has won the 5 NBA All-Defensive Team and has been named to 4 All-NBA First Teams. I don't know how you can argue and say that he's not good. And yes, and it was a good trade for the Lakers because they are offloading a bunch of contracts. They do not have to pay Luka the Supermax anymore, which is, put it right here, y'all. You've seen me do this. $345 million.
All right, time's up. Can't talk anymore.
All right, okay.
You know what? Let's talk about this.
I think it was a good trade because
money.
I think it was a good trade because
the rest of
Luka,
the season.
Luka is a good player.
Oh, we're not going to pay out the rest
LeBron
of the
retires.
Supermax.
He is young. The team can build
Okay,
around.
but
him.
LeBron and him can't even like.
They can't even play together. Shut up.
While I would love to hear you guys talk more about basketball, we don't have time. So don't leave just yet, because when we come back, we'll break down Sunday's big game against the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Megan's delusional.
Kaylee's crazy.
Bring it.
Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home. Okay. Bye, guys.
You guys need a ride? Sure. Yeah. All right. How about some one-on-one?
I gotta go eat, man. Sorry, I'll see you later.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Super Bowl 59 is upon us down in the Big Easy between the Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs. And Sean, it's Eagles time. They have not won since Super Bowl 52, my friend. And I'm just going to tell you something. They got Saquon Barkley, who's a bad man. Bad man Saquon Barkley. And I'm going to tell you, they have a good receiving core in Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. Jalen Hurts, I think, is underrated. So that's all I got to say about that.
You know, I'm going to completely disagree there. Jalen Hurts is probably overrated. His receivers are good, and that's what makes him good. And the quad father, they got the quad father in the backfield. All right, Saquon Barkley just carries that entire offense through his 2 tree trunk legs, okay? The Chiefs, better quarterback, better coach. That's all you need to win a Super Bowl. Mahomes is better. Andy Reid is better. They have the experience. They got big game Travis Kelce. The refs love them. I sat here last year. I talked about how much I hate the Chiefs and how they're not going to win. They're going to win. They do it every year, and that's all they do.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out Super Bowl 59 on Sunday in New Orleans. But thanks for watching. We'll take ourselves a 6-day, 23-hour break. And Sean, as always, it's up, and it's good.